Hey guys, I'm here at the drugstore, and in this video I'm going to share with you my top dermatologist tips, hacks for summer skincare. All of those little things that pop up in the summer, you're going to be ahead of the game if you watch this video. It is mosquito season. Well, that never seems to die here. So to protect yourself from mosquitoes, ticks, and other bugs, use insect repellent that contains 20 to 30% DEET. You want to spray it on exposed skin and clothing. You want to follow the directions of the product that you have purchased because it's going to vary from product to product. If you're going to be outdoors, obviously you want to wear sunscreen as well on sun-exposed skin. But here's the thing, if you're wearing sunscreen, you want to apply your sunscreen first. Let your sunscreen dry and then put on insect repellent. Don't use products that combine sunscreen and insect repellent together. As you guys know, you need to be reapplying sunscreen liberally and every 2 hours while you're outside, whereas insect repellent is going to be applied sparingly and you're going to reapply the frequency with which the product dictates. So that's why we don't recommend the combination products, because you need to be encouraged to reapply sunscreen frequently, but insect repellent, that can become problematic. Also, if you're going to be out hiking in a densely wooded area, make sure you dress appropriately. Wear long sleeves, long pants, and wear hats. You know, that the sun protective hats that I'm always donning, not only will they protect you from sun, but they will keep ticks off of your head. Tuck your pants down into your shoes. Keeps ticks from getting up there. Stay in the center of the trail too. Don't wander off in wooded areas. And as a reminder, you can pre-treat your clothing with permethrin. That'll help as well. Kiddie pool tip: if your child has molluscum or warts, don't let them play in like a kiddie pool with other kids because they can spread the molluscum to other kids. Now, if they just have a few, you can cover them with a bandage and that's fine. But if they have a ton, then the little molluscum virus spreads to other people more readily in water. Molluscum are rather a nuisance for parents. Check out my video though on how to get rid of molluscum. I give all sorts of tips and tricks in that video and how to care for the skin to prevent them from spreading and to help you on the journey to getting rid of them, because it can be quite a journey. Once we get into extremes of temperature, make sure you are replenishing your fluids if you're going to be outdoors for a prolonged period of time so that you don't get heat stroke or heat exhaustion, especially if you are an older adult. Now, I don't know, I'm not endorsing liquid IV by any means. I've never even had it. I think these are basically like Gatorade, right? They have some sugar. I see they have a sugar-free one, but electrolyte drinks can be helpful when you're sweating a lot, because you end up depleting sodium if you just keep drinking water and you get hyponatremic. It's more of an issue for like people who are doing intense exercise outside and sweating profusely, like marathon runners who just take in water and no sodium. Neutrogena has their spray sunscreen out and their sticks. Now, these are actually really good. They do have fragrance, the sprays do at least. The Mineral Pure Screen, I believe, is fragrance free, I want to say. But the thing to keep in mind with these is when you're doing the spray, make sure you spray it on when there's not a lot of wind going around, so it actually the spray goes on your skin. You have to do multiple passes, and I hate to break it to you, the only way it works is if you physically rub it in. If you just spray and go, it doesn't cut the bill. So I'm telling you that because I know a lot of people reach for these sprays who are wearing makeup and think that if they just mist their face with them, then that is like a touch-free way to reapply sunscreen. We recommend actually for the face specifically spraying it into your hand and then rubbing it in. I know, don't shoot the messenger. That's just the right way to do it. Same thing with sticks. Make sure you do multiple passes so you don't get skip areas, and then it's also a good idea to rub those in as well. I I've been using a lot of these sunscreen sticks as SPF lip balms though, because SPF lip balms have become harder and harder to come by, which I don't understand because they're always putting out these sticks. But so they should be doing more smaller tubes for the lips, but whatever. I came over here seeking my favorite poison ivy remedy, and that is Dawn Burrows. It's an aluminum acetate soak. You buy these packets, reconstitute them in water, and then soak in it. It helps with that weepy, oozy rash. I think I've mentioned this in a recent video, but Benadryl cream is completely useless. Topical diphenhydramine, don't waste your money on that. Calamine lotion is kind of a similar approach to aluminum acetate soaks with Dawn Burrows, and then it is essentially a drying lotion, so it can be very soothing because that oozy, weepy stuff ends up being very itchy. Yeah, I'm not seeing Dawn Burrows here. Friendly reminder, do not use Neosporin on cuts or bites or anything of that sort. All it does is breed antimicrobial resistance, and also is a very common reason for contact dermatitis. Just use its base, which is plain petroleum jelly. Neosporin is just antibiotics, neomycin and polymyxin, plus petrolatum. Now this also has pramoxine in it, this particular pain relief one. Oops, as I knocked down some more. The pramoxine is actually helpful for itch. It's a topical anesthetic. It's what's in a lot of anti-itch lotions. Por ejemplo, Sarna's sensitive anti-itch lotion with pramoxine. Sarna is effective. Like, they have this menthol anti-itch lotion. Menthol is fragrance, but it does have a cooling effect and helps distract the itch nerves. So I've often recommended that. But pramoxine is a suitable alternative. So you've got this one, and then you also have the CeraVe Itch, y'all, the CeraVe Itch Relief Moisturizing Lotion. You wanna know how much Walgreens is asking for it? $26.99. That's gotta be the most absurd inflation I've seen of late. This is good. Unfortunately, that is really expensive. I often recommend this for itchy rashes. Put it in the refrigerator and then apply it to the skin chilled. It really helps, whether it be an itchy bug bite, whether it be heat rash. This is really good for heat rash, actually, because it's nice and lightweight and hydrating and soothing. Now, Gold Bond has an anti-itch with pramoxine and menthol. So if you're not allergic to fragrance, this would be one to consider. It has oat kernel extract in it as well. Menthol definitely can be effective for itch. Speaking of itch, if you get a mosquito bite or a bug bite, slap a little hydrocortisone on it because that can definitely help get rid of that itch. It doesn't have to be the Vanicream brand. I'm just holding this one here. The Vanicream one is $12.49, whereas the Walgreens store version is $6.49. These are FSA eligible, so if you've got a flexible spending account, you can stock your summer first aid kit needs. Anyway, yeah, you only need a teeny tiny little dot though. You don't need a lot, and just put it on the bug bite itself. However, don't use this on the face. It can cause problems on the face, like steroid rosacea. It can cause perioral dermatitis on the face. But unlike the legs, the arms, the back, the chest, it's fine. I mean, it's really weak, so it's, not gonna likely cause much in the realm of harmful side effects, but it is possible on the face for more problems to arise. Especially, you don't want to use it around the eyes. Yeah, earlier we were talking about molluscum and covering them up if you're gonna get in a pool or something. These hydrocolloid gel bandages, the HydroSeal, these are helpful to protect the wart or molluscum. Wart is the same kind of issue as molluscum. Different virus, different appearing bump, but same underlying issues basically. And so you do want to be careful in the pool if you have warts. A lot of people actually end up getting warts on their feet, the bottom of their feet, from like the community pool, walking around the cement in the pool, or whatever the pool bottom is made out of. I don't know, I'm not going to pretend to be a pool engineer. You know how it kind of makes, it's rough on the feet. You get little scrapes that you don't even really realize. Wart virus just gets right on in. So yeah, FYI. Community pools even exist anymore, or is that just a fever dream of my childhood that has since passed? We talked about these fungal nail. Speaking of moist environments where we acquire critters, in gym locker rooms, you can easily get nail fungus, or pool locker rooms, because the foot fungus thrives in a moist, humid environment. And foot fungus can make its way into your toenails, lead to toenail fungus. And these carousel fungal nail patches are really helpful. They don't really treat the fungus per se, but they do help in improving the nail plate. Because fungus just kind of takes over and destroys the nail. So alongside antifungal medication, it can be helpful for the nail plate, because the fungus just slows down the rate of nail growth. But all that to say, when you are enjoying a community pool, shower, sauna, or whatever, be careful with your feet. Wear shower shoes. Shower shoes are good because they cut down on the bottoms of your feet getting little scrapes and things, which can be a portal of entry. The at-home freezing thing is kind of a waste, but this Compound W definitely can help. Check out my video on how to get rid of a wart fast. I give detailed instructions on how to effectively use this. Most people buy this when they get a wart, but they don't end up using it right, and so they kind of give up on it prematurely. It's not a miracle by any means, and you have to stick with it, and you have to do the regimen that I outline in that video, and that's the way to help. But just using it here and there willy-nilly and expecting a miracle, yeah, not going to happen. Warts are a pain. They take a while to go away, and then boom, one day they're gone, and that's that. Blister Guard Spray forms a clear barrier. What is in this? So here's the thing. When it comes to blisters, they're common this time of year because people start wearing sandals and cute shoes and stuff that rub on their feet. Make sure you wear shoes that fit well and give good arch support. That's a great way to not get a blister. When you do get a blister though, don't go out of your way to pop it or to pull off the skin. Now, fluid will accumulate in the blister, sometimes to a point where it's really tense, and it'll eventually rupture on its own. Try and let it rupture on its own. Don't force it to burst open. But once it does, just clean it with a little soapy water. Try and leave that blister roof on as best you're able. I suggest kind of almost gluing it on with a little petroleum jelly, because it's a natural bandage and it protects the raw baby skin underneath. If you try and tear it off, it just causes all sorts of problems and is a lot more painful for you in the long run, and can put you at risk for infections and stuff. So try and leave it on there as long as possible. And as the skin heals from the bottom up, it'll eventually dry up and flake off. So in my last dermatologist hacks video in Walmart, I was telling you guys that isopropyl alcohol is not anything you ever want to put on a cut, a wound, or anything. It will slow down healing. However, it is handy, as I pointed out in that video, for cleaning your nail clippers, manicure tools, but also if you happen to look down at your child and notice a spot and you think, oh my gosh, why do they look so dirty? They might not actually be dirty. They might have something called terra firma formae, which is basically, it happens from time to time in young kids, but really anyone can get it. Basically what it is the skin just gets very delayed for whatever reason and turning over, and so you kind of get this heaped up dead skin on the skin surface. It looks very dirty. And what you do is you take an alcohol prep pad or a little bit of isopropyl alcohol soaked cotton swab and rub the skin, and it'll just come right off. That is diagnostic. And eventually it resolves on its own. It's not a serious issue or anything, but just so you know, because you'll tell your child that they're not bathing or whatever, or you'll try and scrub with just soap and water, and seems to be like stuck there. But this will take it off, and that's diagnostic of what it is. Now, if you have athlete's foot, make sure you put, when you get dressed or you get out of the shower, make sure you put your socks on before your underwear, because if you have athlete's foot and you put your underwear on first, you can transfer the foot fungus from your feet to your groin area and get jock itch. So you put your socks on first, that way that doesn't happen. But jock itch, like athlete's foot, is the same sort of type of fungus. It's called a dermatophyte, and they thrive in moist, humid environments. So anywhere where you have skin-on-skin contact, skin folds, it's more of a favorable environment. So a powder can help reduce moisture and cut down on recurrences of that. But miconazole is actually not super effective for dermatophytes. It's more helpful, however, for another type of rash that happens in the groin area related to Candida yeast. It's called intertrigo. That's also very common, and this can be helpful. Jock itch powder that they have here, although it's not jock itch per se. The brand, this is a store version, but the brand name of this is called Zeazorb. These types of rashes tend to be more common in the hot summer months too, because you're sweating a lot more. So another thing that's common in the hot summer months, or tends to be more common, is kind of this bizarre condition that happens on the lower legs, which I feel like a lot of people have, because I'm getting questions about red spots on the legs, strawberry legs. It's called Schamberg's purpura. It's basically a capillaritis. So the little capillaries that course through your skin, they get inflamed and kind of leaky, and you get these eruptions of like itchy little teeny tiny cayenne pepper red dots. Little red dots are called petechiae, which are basically little collections of blood that have leaked out into the skin. And a lot of people deal with this. There are actually many different variants of it, but we'll just say Schamberg's for the purposes of this, which is one of the more common variants. And like I said, it tends to pop up a lot more in the summer months, but it comes about, it comes and goes, tends to flare when you are in situations of prolonged standing, like playing golf, or just, you know, maybe you work as a cashier, or intense exercise. So compression socks can help cut down on flares. The graduated compression stockings, because they basically cut down, offset some of that pressure burden on the tissues down there, reducing inflammation and aggravation of the blood vessels and the leakiness. So it definitely can help. This is interesting. Walgreens has a CBD rapid cooling cream. So CBD actually can be helpful for itch related to atopic dermatitis. There are cannabinoid receptors, and there's an endocannabinoid system within the skin, and it does play a key role in itch. This also has arnica, which hasn't really been shown to be helpful for anything, and you can be allergic to it. This also has, sounds like it has menthol in it, which is what I was looking for, because it says cooling. Yeah, it has menthol, but it has a bunch of essential oils in it. Tea tree oil, lemon peel oil. Be careful with that. Allergy to that kind of stuff is pretty common. Walgreens also has it in a spray version. I wonder, yeah, same thing with the arnica. This one, yeah, this one has peppermint leaf oil and tea tree leaf oil. Now, tea tree leaf oil can help with fungal infections, potentially seborrheic dermatitis, acne. However, it's variable, and allergy to it's pretty common. Speaking of sweat, I talk about this a lot, but I know I have new people here. So with it being the warmer months coming, that means more body odor, because body odor is largely the result of the breakdown of sweat by bacteria that live on your skin. So this is an acne wash with 10% benzoyl peroxide. If you use this as a underarm wash, lather it under your arms while you're in the shower, let it sit on the skin for a few minutes, and then rinse it off. It can really cut down on the the bacteria that break down sweat and lead to odor. You can also use it to wash your feet as well, to help cut down not only on just run-of-the-mill foot odor, but there's a condition that happens on the feet. It's called pitted keratolysis. It's a bacterial infection, and wow, it smells really foul, because basically the bacteria that cause that, they break down the proteins in your skin and release a sulfur odor, so it smells really foul. And if you look at the bottom of the feet really carefully, you see these little pits. So this is another use for a benzoyl peroxide wash. Now, this can be drying under the arms, so be aware of that. I suggest after you rinse it off and you get out of the shower, just put some plain moisturizer under your arms. Another thing that becomes super common in the summer is chafing because of sweat. I mean, a lot of skin problems actually are just related to sweat sitting on the skin, because it's an irritant. If you have atopic dermatitis, it's a common trigger for flares. But all that to say, so the key to cutting down on chafing is to make sure that you're wearing moisture-wicking clothing and you're doing your best to stay dry, but also lubricate the skin surface with petroleum jelly. I like this Vaseline all over body balm because it's great to just glide on the skin on the go if you find that you're in a situation where you're developing chafing. But also, this is really good if you're prone to hangnails, to rub around the cuticle. If you have a hangnail, get yourself some alcohol and disinfect those nail clippers and trim the hangnail. Don't pull it, because that'll put you at risk for an infection around the nail. So just trim it really carefully, and then you can glue it down with super glue, as I mentioned in my how to get rid of a hangnail, or you can just use petroleum jelly to kind of adhere it. Anyway, so this will help, and it'll also help cut down on the formation of hangnails. Well, guys, the drugstore did not disappoint. I hope this video was educational, informative. You learned some tips and tricks that will serve you well this summer. Get excited because Memorial Day is around the corner. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, you're gonna wanna watch my last dermatologist skincare hacks video, where I go through Walmart and give a ton of tips similar to in this video, but totally different. So check that one out next if you missed it. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.